I don't know if you've been following the Jade Helm training exercises in several states in the US South. I haven't really been talking about it too much because I thought of it as mostly just yet another insane right-wing conspiracy theory, but it's actually getting pretty serious what's going on down there. If you haven't heard of Jade Helm, it's a multi-state military training exercise which has sparked a ton of conspiracy theories which have gained so much traction that the Pentagon actually made a statement saying we're not planning to invade Texas. And Texas Governor Greg Abbott actually went as far as calling in the Texas State Guard to monitor the exercises. And I'll give you a list of some of the conspiracy theories that the usual suspects, right? The extreme right, the so-called libertarians who believe that the federal government is oppressive, people like Alex Jones, the usual suspects, like I said, have been working on this subject in a way that has generated all of the following conspiracy theories. One, the Jade Helm training exercises are cover for the implementation of martial law from President Obama. Or, the Department of Justice and the United Nations plan to seize all of Americans' guns. That's a popular one. That's been used for everything from Sandy Hook to military training exercises. Number three, the military plans to imprison political dissidents. Why they would be doing these exercises only in some states in order to achieve that goal, I have no idea. The military plans to eliminate citizens who have made a particular list dubbed the Red List. Or, this is a combination conspiracy theory, in some of the states where the training exercises are going on, some Walmarts have been shuttered. And the conspiracy theory is that the military has occupied the shuttered Walmarts. And lastly, that this operation is coinciding with a false flag economic collapse meant to serve as a pretext for the federal government to do who knows what. And thus, these federal troops will be ready to do whatever they need to do in reaction to this false flag economic collapse. Now, if this were all that was going on, if it were just some conspiracy theories from the right, wouldn't really be that big of a deal. But it has led to actual gunfire from U.S. citizens. For the second time this week, a gunman opened fire at Camp Shelby, which is a military training center that's just one piece of this Jade Helm training exercise. A man matching the same description as Tuesday's shooter, white, driving a red or maroon pickup truck, opened fire around 8 a.m. Wednesday for a second time, according to the Clarion Ledger. No immediate reports of injuries. On Tuesday, a gunman fired at two soldiers who were training at Camp Shelby. Two men were taken into custody and questioned, then released without charges. The truck seen Tuesday had the words "Broken Arrow" on the windshield. Broken Arrow is this military code for requesting help when you're being overrun by enemy forces. Think about that for a second. No one injured Tuesday. And then we have this other incident Wednesday of gunfire. And this is not really being reported by corporate media, a report here or there. If this is not domestic terrorism, right? If you see individuals taking up arms to go and fire where the military is conducting training exercises, this is domestic terrorism. It just so happens the alleged perpetrators are white, and it just so happens, as usual, we're not hearing much of it from corporate media. Don't the conspiracy theorists and fearmongers need to be held responsible? Maybe not legally, but in general for the paranoia that has led to these types of actions. You would think that these alleged shooters wouldn't say, oh, you know what, Jade Helm 15 military exercises. Yeah, Alex Jones hasn't been talking about it. The right hasn't been talking about it. There's been no fear mongering about it. I think I'm going to grab my gun and go shoot there. Of course not. So legal responsibility is not what I'm talking about. But how can we ignore that this conspiratorial mindset around Jade Helm has been sowed by many of the usual suspects that I listed just a few minutes ago?